Writing and reading numbers in millions and billions can be very confusing. Imagine someone asks you to write 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in words. Likewise, it's challenging to write 8 million and 2 in numbers. And it even takes time to figure it out by yourself, you understand? And however, you don't have to do all the hard work yourself. Because in this series, which is all about whole numbers, you are going to learn in part 1 how to count and read and write numbers in millions. And the first thing we talk about is how to read numbers in millions in words. That's numbers in word. Give some examples and exercise to there. And in part 3 we talk about how to write words in millions in numbers with example and exercise. In part 4 we talk about how do you count numbers in billions and how to use the place value chart in billions. So in that section you will understand what place value chart is, and how to use it for billions. And in part 5 we talk about how to write numbers like 100,000 zeros in words with example and exercise. And in part 6 we talk about how do you write words in billions in numbers with tons of examples and exercise. And in part 7 we talk about how to applying the counting, writing and reading of large numbers in everyday life. Now welcome to JSS1 Mathematics, the first week, first term, first week and part 1. So in this part we talk about counting in millions. So this course series is brought to you by Happy Class Online School, where you learn with clear, simple, fun and easy to follow and pupils focused learning method. I'm Imran Yakub. Welcome and let's get started. So in this very core section we talked about how do you count, read, write numbers in millions. So the first thing we can discuss is how do you count in millions. The second thing is to talk about the basics of how to write numbers in millions in word. And the third thing to discuss in this video we are watching right now in the first part is to talk you use and in numbers in words, UK style or US style. I mean, should you use and or should you not use and? In that section we talk about that, and you can see which one to follow. Maybe you should use and when you are writing numbers in word or not. So let's move on.
Welcome.
How do you count in millions? So the first thing you are going to understand is that first of all we have something called 1 million, and 1 million has that's 1 million. We have one with 6 zeros after it, and we have 100 million, which we have 10 million, which is 10 which is 1 with 7 zeros after it, and we have 100 million. So master the spellings there, and that's state you need to know in this kind of slides that I'm showing you right now. So let's talk more about 1 million. So the total digits of 1 million, if you count it, that would be 7 digits, you understand, and it has 6 zeros, and sometimes it has 6 digits if you count it from the left. That means you have 6 digits if you count it from the left. And moving to 10 million now, we have 10 million has the total digits of 8, you understand, and it has 7 zeros after it. It has 7 zeros, and if you count it from the left, sorry, if you count it from the right, you have 7 digits right after that. So it's from the right. I made a mistake there. So talking about 100 million, 100 million has the total digit of 9, and it has 8 zeros, and also if you count the digits from the right, you get like 8 digits, you understand.
Welcome.
Welcome to section number 2, where we'll talk about numbers in words. So this is just the basics of how to read and write numbers in millions in words. So the first thing I want you to understand is that there are some numbers in words that you need to understand. The first is million. We have million here, which is millions, and you can see the spelling here. So it's usually represented with M. It's capital letter M, and that's the digit for 1 million. We have 10 million, which is usually represented by capital letter T and capital letter M, which is TM. We have 100 millions, which is represented by HM. All these are the units we are going to use when we are dealing with place value chart, which I will show you uh, some moment to come. So we now have 100 million, 100,000, which is represented by capital letter H, T, and small letter h. We have 10,000s, we have thousands, we have hundreds, and we have tens, and we have units. Look, sometimes you can hear units being said is ones. So in this course I'm going to use ones, but unit is common sometimes, and I think it's less used now. So that's just what I wanted to know. So that's just basically you need to remember. Now just make sure you memorize, you memorize, or you keep in mind what the units are for the millions, thousands, and other 10 millions and others, because we are going to need it so later on. And try to master the spellings of each words and their digits that are listed here, because you are going to need it. And if you can see now that ones have just only one digit, tens have two digits, hundred have 100, 10,000s have 4 digits, and so on and so forth. So remember these words, they are the numbers names, which is just 1, 2, 3. You can see how it is being written there. We have 4, 5, 6. I will just move through it and scroll through it because you can easily just grab it by yourself. We have 13, 14. Just I will write it down. I list it down here so that you can quickly remember what the spellings looks like, and so that you won't forget. So we have 90 here, and you can see how 90 is being written. But when you have two words like 21, for example, you write 20 and you put an hyphen and write the number, the number that is next to it, like 21 and 55. So this is place value chart for millions. You understand? We have millions here, we have thousands followed by ones, and under it we have, the first thing we have there is 100 million, which is HM. I've already showed you that at the last slide. We have TM, which is 10 million. We have million. Under the thousands, which I colored like purple, is that purple? We have HTH, which is 100,000. We have 10,000, thousands, and we have under ones, we have 100, we have tens, and we have units. So this is called a place value chart, and it is a useful table that helps us find the place value of each digit based on its position in a number. So we are going to use this place value chart to be able to write any numbers we are given, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 that I mentioned. How you are going to write it. We are going to use this place value chart to be able to draft it out and write exactly the words correctly in words, exactly what the number is in words. So here is an example. Now we have 425249. We are asked to write it. Well, the first thing we are going to do is to count it from the right and put a comma every time you encounter every 3 digits. You understand? So I write 59549. I put a comma, 252. I put a comma, and remain 4. That means if you count the digits now, we have like 7 digits. Definitely 7 digits is million. So this is how I list it. I first write the last digit, which is 9. I put it under ones. That means I'm starting from the right. After that one is 5. I place it under 10, followed by 100, which is 4, followed by 2, which I place under 1000, followed by 5, 100,000, and million. Now if you want to read this number now, first stand under million, that would be 4 million. 200 under 100,000, that would be 252,000. That's what I write under it. That's 5,252,000 and 252,450.
Welcome.
Number 3, here in this section we talk about, should you use and in numbers in words. We talk about the UK size and the US size, what is different, and how you can use it, and where should you use and where you should not use and when you're writing numbers in words. Now this will be in some kind of debate. You understand? So on the left here we have the United Kingdom style, which is the British English rule, and on the right here we have the United States style guide, which is the American English rule. So in the British English rule, the first thing is that and is usually necessary after every mention of the word 100. That means after you mention 100 or after you write 100, you need to put and before you write another word after. So keep that in mind. But in British English, do not use the word and after 100 or 1000. That sound is straightforward, and I think it's word and opposite themselves. So in the British English rule, you can use hand, you can use and, that's and. In the American English rule, don't use and after 100 or 1000. Drop hand when the next two digits is 00. You understand? That's example 7500 will be 7500. I not write 7, or I not say 7500. Though that's 7. That's not correct. The correct version, the correct one is 7500. And then don't drop and when the after when after thousands, the last digits, the last three digits of the number is less than 10. I think that may be not clear to you, so let's move on to the second slide. So for example, let's say 6075. You know, the 0 here is under the thousand. You understand? Sorry, the 6 here is under a thousand. That means the digits after it is 0. The next digit is 75. That means 075 is under the ones. You understand? If you can remember, I showed you earlier on. So this one, don't draw the hand. That would be 600. That means 657. I think I made a mistake there. That should be 67. That's 6057. It's not 600. 6075. So that's a mistake there. It's not 7. Then, so don't drop and if there is no thousand. For example, let's if you write this 7800005 under the place value chart, you know the 000, the triple zero at the middle there, they are the thousand. You understand? So if you want to write, don't drop the hand. Don't mind British, just do not use and after thousands and hundred. And then use the word point to represent decimal point. So in British English, we use point to represent decimal point. Like for example, now we have 1.2, but in American English or the United States style guide, you use and for decimal points. So next thing is that don't mind it's important to use comma. That means in UK English, in the British English or UK English style, you are going to use comma. In American English, it's not necessary to use comma. You understand? So keep that in mind. It's not necessary to use comma. And no fights. So there's no fights between American and English regarding this kind of. It just depends on what every one of them just choose. So no fight, no win style. That means you have to choose what you want to use. Now in the next slide, now I'm going to tell you everything in brief. And you use the British English style or the American English style. So this is what to keep in mind. The first thing is that you use the British English style. That means use and use comma if your country officially speaks English British. Like Nigeria, for example, now since we are colonized by English and British English is our official language, so definitely you are going to use comma and hand when you are writing numbers in word. But in American style, if your country speak American, let's say you are watching from any other American country, you literally just use not use and, so you don't use and definitely you use and for decimal points. And then if the exam you are doing or the text specify that you should make the choice for you, definitely just use what you also write in the style you like. So I think with all this you keep in mind, you know when to use and when not to use and. So that's the end of the JSS1 Mathematics for Sam week 1 and the video we are watching right now, which is the part 1. The topic we talk about here is the counting in millions. So I will give you some recap of what you learned in this video so far. So the first thing is that how to count in millions, and I've explained that to you. You know how to write numbers, names. You know how to use base value chart to draft out numbers in millions. You understand? And you definitely just keep in mind that use and if in British English at the end of 100 and not in America. That means in American English you don't use and it's also important to separate groups of 3 digits in British English and it's not important in American English. Now this video is brought to you by Happy Class Online School, which is where you learn to clear, simple, fun and easy to follow with pupils focus method. I'm Imran Yaku once again, and that's the end of the video.